go. This is the underground. World News Live. Back at you for another one. Let's get the mic check in. And, wow, it was showing it was playing a different song. Glad it was playing the right one. Arizona in the house. Much love. Good to see everybody out there. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Skeepy. Thank you, Steely, for all the legendary super chats. Appreciate it to the fullest. The legendary Lowrider gifting memberships, man. Everyone that got them, welcome to the underground. Good evening. Much love. Good to see everybody. Pure Bloods, Gabriel, Tiffany, Kenzo, Tom, John Boy, Lanya, Nish. I'm always afraid I'm saying it wrong. J Hart, Sheepdog, Hopkinson, Lisa, Gretchen, MC. Man, everybody, man. Good to see you guys, man. Thank you to those that share the stream. Thank you, Kenny. Everybody for the feedback there. Thank you, Hoodie Ross and Kenny, for sharing the stream. Appreciate it to the fullest. And we've got plenty to cover here tonight. Projects of NYC in the house. Good to see people checking in from all over Canada, Maryland. got more than I could ever fit into the title. As always, we're just going to get this thing rolling here. And once again, thank you for everything, guys. The email, dabu7@yahoo.com. You can tag me just like Who Cares and Gabriel just did in the chat. Gets my attention, lights it up in red. And again, I thank you for all support and donations. Appreciate it to the fullest. You can see there, Cannibal CME alert. That's what we're going to start off with here. Go ahead and get an update just to see if they got an update on this. All right, so what's going on here is we've got multiple direct CMEs coming our way. There's usually a combination of things you got to look at to see how bad this is going to be. First off, the intensity of the flare, the CME. It looks like we got an X flare, only an X1, but still it's an X flare. And we've got several others, an M9, M77. You can see down here on the graph, even an M3, they were all peaking. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably due for another one here in any time. Just by looking at these spikes, the intervals in which it's coming in right here, it could release a big one here anytime. So that's concerning because you've already got so many coming in. So what's so concerning about a Cannibal CME? Cannibal CME could put the lights out. It's the one thing outside of a monster solo CME, which is going to be super rare, that direct hit us. A Cannibal CME can do just as bad of damage because you're talking 2, 3, 4 CMEs that all come together and hit the earth at the same time like a big blanket. And it can cause a lot of problems. It can amplify the damage, with all of them pancaking, stacking up as they're hitting earth, hitting our magnetosphere. Now, we've got a couple holes, cracks in that thing as it is. It would put on one heck of a light show in terms of like northern lights. I would expect that. I don't know how far south they'll come down. I'll have to update on that. But they are saying there's an alert out right now. They say at least 2 of the CMEs will merge into a single Cannibal CME. Could be a third. Just going to have to wait and see the next 48 hours on this. But if the latest model is correct, the Cannibal could hit Earth during the late hours of June 4th, sparking at least a G3 class geomagnetic storm. They say that some mid-latitude auroras may appear in Europe and the USA. They call this an anti-hail sunspot, and that it's X-flaring. They say it wasn't in the forecast, but sunspot 4455 directly center that's popping these off, it started to erupt with these X flares. It's got a unstable reversed polarity magnetic field. So that's what is going on with the thing. Studies show that about 3% of all sunspots fall into this category. So that's super rare. We got one looking right at us, active. So yeah. If by tomorrow another one pops off, especially from 4455, this may go to an even more heightened alert. May just be a light show. I'd say you're definitely going to get that. But yeah, heads up, Cannibal CME alert. The latest coming in from the sun. And the sun has got a lot of sunspots. So we could see activity off of any of those in combination with this. I'll update keeping eyes to the skies. We do have that conjunction going on also in the evening. We jump into the next one. I got a bunch here. Could try to cover and knock out as quickly and smoothly as possible. A high dose of vitamin D may lower your diabetes risk. So if it runs in the family or anything like that, you know, can't go wrong with getting plenty of vitamin D there. I want to jump to these tickets. Now, this does not show the ticket sales for the upcoming soccer matches, but these soccer matches, man, I got my eye on them because they were telegraphed on the Rothschild magazine cover, and I really think that they hold the highest opportunity for getting hit in a target, in like a targeted attack. It may not be in the one big stadium that's most secure, but they're doing these across America, North America, down into Mexico. They were even saying they were going to proceed with playing a game at a stadium where they just recently found dead bodies buried there. So they dug them up, put all the dirt back, and like they're talking like, oh, they're going to have some games there. It's like, my gosh. We don't know if those people were executed right there in a field or not. I mean, it becomes crazy. But just basketball, pro sports in this country, it shocks me at the ticket prices here. And thank you, Frank Holiday, for the super chat. Blessings. All praise to the Most High. And what is that? Last trustworthy weasel there. Much love. So, as you can see on the screen, these prices are crazy. From $3,000 to $280,000 for the NBA Finals, $280,000 just to go watch a game. I mean, are you serious? Like, even if you're rich, like, are you serious? Like, you're stupid. Just gotta love blowing money. If somebody's got the kind of money to spend, it's like, what else are you doing for the world? It's my question, but that is crazy. 3K, people are going to argue that's out of the range, but I mean, $280,000 is just nuts, man. So I've never ever been in one of these ball games, but or professional basketball game, but you see all the stars lined up all the time in the shots. They're all front and center right at the court, that front row, first row too. And it's like, I don't know, they can afford it. The stars can, but wow. I don't know, man. It's just insane seeing those prices. Having a hard time paying for gas and regular stuff out here, let alone affording a $250,000 ticket to a freaking basketball game. So, oil prices, they are affecting everyone. And it has to do with this whole war, this charade that they keep on pulling. Every time I go live, it's the same thing I'm saying about it. Like, Trump says they're about to work out a deal and blah, blah, blah. And they drop bombs. And then it's back to they're talking again. And then they drop bombs. And it's the same old. And when I get to that, it'll be the same old, you'll see. But oil prices spiked and they held their gains. The stocks, however, hitting 12-year lows. And the biggest thing of all is our strategic reserves are getting wiped out. Again, this is something Biden did, and then it got replenished. But Trump's doing this in a scary way. Biden wasn't holding the world hostage at the time and all this other stuff and didn't have the Straits of Hormuz locked up. Trump does. So, this is Trump's move, man. Oil prices, all this stuff. Our reserves have got to get replenished. Now, I really see this thing getting drug out for a while. We'll see here. But not going to spend too much time on that. But Europe is going to really be feeling it. Over in the UK, places like that, they're going to have serious problems if the US cuts oil exports. There seems to be a global move. Like, it's like chess. And it's like the West, Trump and them, they're trying to like checkmate everybody. They've had it out with Europe, so to speak, over NATO, over Ukraine, this whole thing, not seeing eye to eye. And then you had places saying, all right, we're going to pull our troops and this and that. Well, now Trump's saying, all right, we're going to cut oil exports to you guys now. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, why? And Trump's just like, because I can. Man, he better watch it. He just threatened 60 different countries with tariffs. And of course, who pays for the tariffs? We do. So that's not threatening no one. It's not threatening him. They're like, who cares? But yeah, this whole Hormuz thing has big repercussions that the average person, the daily person, just does not see at all. So let's jump to AI. AI is a bubble, and it's brought a lot of opportunity if you were in this like years ago, but like it's been ongoing for years now. In terms of the talk of AI, it being rolled out, it's making leaps and bounds, which is scary. AGI, the whole nine. But when it comes to investment, um, it doesn't look like it's going to hold up forever. Nothing does. And Ray Dalio saying that he thinks that this is going to be a bubble that bursts just like the dot-com bubble. Now, I don't know if it ends up like that because dot-com was kind of a smaller, more fragmented thing. It didn't, I don't know, it just had to deal with dot-com. AI is interwoven in all these different things. It's so much bigger. AI kind of dwarfs it. If you ask me, it's not even comparable, which means if the bubble pops, it's going to be bad. Now, he says the tech will endure. Well, sure it will. Inside of companies or programs or anything like that, but anyone holding stock or things like that, they're going to get liquidated. He's saying it. It's like a rug pull right here. If you're in an AI stock, man, like the stuff has been steaming. And when the big dogs are looking at that and they see that, they're like, you know what? I better sell. And when one sells, the next one does. The dominoes drop. You get left holding the bag. Scora. What should I do if I think your tariff check got lost in the mail? What tariff check? I thought that was all a scammy joke. I think a guy was really sending out tariff checks. He says a lot of lies, man. He says a lot of lies. It's kind of crazy. He's belligerent with it. Trump is now. He says whatever he wants. And a lot of people will just believe it. But when you fact check him, like we did the other night on the whole mines and Hormuz thing, he was lying. And doesn't surprise me. Scora again. Much love. I appreciate that. And Frank. Florida, if you missed it on the last show, they are doing away with property tax. And what I'm about to tell you here. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. When you finally get to the point where you pay something off and you're like, okay, it's paid off. That was the plan. Get it paid off, then move on to something else. Where you come to find out, well, property and house, they're going to keep taxing you even if you've got it paid off. And many have said it's a scam. Even Elon has said it before. It's a straight up scam to steal people's property and stuff in the end of life, especially when people are just surviving off their little bit of retirement and taxes rise on the property. They over time are phasing you out. They know that you're not going to be able to do it. It's a setup. It's an obvious one. So much so that they're just saying calling it for what it is. In Florida, being the first state to say if you live here for at least 5 years, no more property tax, meaning you can pay something off and it's paid off. That's huge. It's huge. So Florida becomes the first state to sue unsafe OpenAI and Sam Altman over AI harms because no one else seems to care. So they're going to step up for the people and they're suing, saying, no, all this is bad, it's wrong. They're calling out all these different things that we've covered left and right in all the different examples. And it just cannot be put into a situation where it's making big time decisions at this point. It's not going to in Florida. Apparently, they're going to fight it to an extent. You got to remember the whole thing with the whole AI bill we warned about, if you missed it, was they were trying to hide it in the big beautiful bill. And we barked so loud that they pulled it. But then Trump was like, oh, yeah, screw you guys barking, and said, I'm going to do an executive order and you're going to suck it and eat it and you're not going to do anything about it like a little kid. But that's what he did. And he rammed it down our throats. And what it said is that all the states have no choice. They got to bow down to what the feds say when it comes to the rules with AI. If they're going to incorporate AI overseeing your cameras at the street lights in your neighborhood, every intersection, and you think it's an invasive thing, invasion of privacy, and doing away with your freedom, just like the flock cameras are, they're going to say, screw you. They don't care. Your state is going to have to step up to defend you. And if people want to be cowards, you're going to see it. It's just like with the AI data centers. People got a rude awakening coming. When you pack a gymnasium or a town hall and these things go down, you see these people betray you right in front of your face, and the whole gymnasium is against it. It's wild. You're talking like 1,000 plus people in town show up, and like 4 or 5 people say, screw you, sitting at a table and go against what all of you say. In my opinion, that's treason. Those people don't make it out of there without getting arrested and cuffed. Yeah, and thrown in a cell for treason, straight up. Because that's exactly what it is. They're willing to take all the shouting down because on the back, sold you out. And as long as they can handle all them booze and make it out of there, without getting touched, their bank account's fat, and that's all they really care about. That's all any of this is ever about. So people sell people out. That's why we're in this position. They've sold us out. IPEC and the government's a perfect example. It should never even be allowed. It shouldn't even be allowed. But yet you've got lobbies like Israel coming over and openly throwing money at people. Okay. And even if it wasn't allowed, they just do it behind the curtain. Okay. They'd sneak into it, but we've got it to where they got to keep it in the open. So you can see who is at least donating, well, to who, like what politicians are getting money from IPAC. And that was the problem I had with the most recent thing with Thomas Massey. Is Thomas Massey, he's a politician, yes, but the man ain't never took a dime from the Mossad in Israel. No, a dime. That says a lot. And Trump hates him. And I think it's ridiculous. We're way beyond Trump Biden in like this whole thing. It's time, anyone that's still got their pom-poms out for MAGA, you better sit them things down and burn them. There's not much left of MAGA anyway. There really isn't. It's fell apart big time. More people are awakening to what's going on, whether they want to admit it or not. But But this AI thing's not going away. Try to keep it pushing here. You know it as well as I do. Florida making some good moves. No state's perfect, but Florida definitely making some impressive moves there. HSBC warns of a commodity super squeeze. One, copper. Because even though gold and silver will back, copper, because it's going to be used and it is used and needed in so many things and applications, it's going through the roof, continuing to rise. You can see it's right there. It's we crossed 1400 on it. I believe it was 14,000. Trying to read this. I can't make out what it says because it's so small there, but you can see just by looking at the chart, we're like in record territory, like way at the top, and I think it's going to continue to rise. Central banks continue to buy gold. There was a bit of a sell-off in March, and as I explained this before, what we witnessed in this moment was several different countries were selling off gold because of the whole war thing, and they were buying other things and like fixing things and like buying ammunitions and doing all this. In war, it happened, and that's what we saw. And we actually saw when bombs are flying, the price pull back, which was odd for a second. It's because they sold so much, but then it kind of panned out. Everything's been like leveling out. Let's look at the prices. Okay. So gold 4466, platinum 1880, palladium 1343. You can see they're all tapered off at the end, including silver that checks in at 73.83. So I like this. I want to see it continue to drop. If they actually ever did come out here at any point and have a peace agreement with Iran and all this stuff, something worked out, you would see, I would think you'd start to see a significant taper off or a pullback here in terms of all of it. Gold, silver, all of them. $60 range, $60 to $70. You can see the bid there, 69.33. If it breaks and gets down to that 60 zone, man, it's buy sign all day. Be snatching up a couple. Gonna break the bank, but counting the day. Thank you for the coffee. I appreciate it to the fullest. And gold dethrones the king. ECB confirms that gold has overtaken treasuries as the top global reserve asset. Wow. This is what they say here can only be described as the latest humiliating blow to Pax Americana, or our US dollar. Gold has officially overtaken US government bonds as the world's top reserve asset. That's not good. It tells you we're in a territory where this whole thing is ready to go. And everyone that sees it, knows it, is prepared. Everyone is shifted over to gold. This is a full-scale de-dollarization. It's been years in the making, and it's only going to accelerate from here. As long as Trump's at the helm and doing all this, he likes a weak dollar. He says it himself. So they're taking a wrecking ball to this whole thing. See, here comes Miley Cyrus and a wrecking ball screaming through, going everything. Before it's all said and done, everything. And they have to, because you got to tear it all down to reset it. Unfortunately. Justin, thank you so much. Much love. I woke up on some gold and silver, man. Look, man, it's been the play, the call. 10 years ago, we called it, and we did 100. We all the way to 120, it was. Yeah. all the way to 120 there, where people could have sold off at the top. Um, well over 10x on anything we were buying. Well, we've been in silver since the $10, $12 range. Even before that, down to 8. Um, well, it depends on where you're getting it. Officially in the markets, it never got down that low, but some places were throughout the years at the right time. You can catch places that were selling gold and silver at decent prices, really good prices. There's some places that I know of that are just ripping people off there, and you'll have that obviously, but there's other places that are only charging a few bucks over spot. If you can find that, that's great. Because when this whole thing ran to over $100, silver and all that, in that run, there was a big premium that got tagged on to everything. And as the price falls, that premium is supposed to shrink back down. Well, a lot of those places kept a $10 premium on top of everything, which is ridiculous. Like, for instance, we're at $73 right now. You may pay 77 over at a site, 78 or something, but they'd be charging like 80 something. Let's jump into the weather, because it's weather warfare, no doubt. I would call it a mega drought. They're calling it a perma-drought. 75% of the global population lives in the country affected by what they call the Great Drying. This is nuts. 75%. You think this is being done on purpose? We live in a water world. We live on a planet with it's mostly water, and you're going to say that we're drying up, huh? Now, how can that be? You have technology, desalination plants, I say it all the time, and you could be pumping it into anywhere. Anywhere. If you really cared. If anyone really cared. Desalination plants would be up, you'd be pumping fresh water into every city. It would be mandatory. Covered by the tax money or whatever every state collects or something. Like, it have to be worked in, but they don't care. So we're drying up. Well, if you dry up this bad, you're not going to have a lot of food. It's going to cause famine. Big time. And you got a big problem when this goes on for a long time, because the aquifers start to dry up. The wells start to dry up. Then you have nothing. When you don't even have a well to draw off of, and like all the blue line streams are dry, like the area is hit. Now, they're out there normally, and you know it, cloud seeding, crisscrossing the skies, and then it rains. So they can make it rain. We know this. They can make it rain big time. But they're not doing it for the most part. They're letting it all dry out and get arid. There was a very small snowpack up in the mountains. That equated to very little melt off. There's already a water war going on out west and everywhere else. I'm going to take it at this point, those Great Lakes, they become critical for being the biggest freshwater lakes out there. Any freshwater lake from here on out has one four-letter word written all over it, and it is life. Yeah. If you know a place that's got ponds and all that stuff, man, that's to live on a big freshwater pond, or lake, should I say, would be key. Really. Because when everything else is drying up, they're still going to be, they may be low, but they should still be holding, as long as it's not like Lake Mead, and it's not the local water source that everyone's drawing off of. If it's just a lake that just sits there, then you should be good. Normally, those don't dry up because they're not getting sucked dry. I will say though, with enough people around to start to tap into something, anything can get sucked dry. That's why being remote in certain situations is key. That's where that whole advantage comes into play there. Um, I've been saying this for a long time, man. I could see it. I could feel it. There's a drought going on. And like right now, I don't see any rain forecast at all. When the rain in the forecast is calling for like 20-30%, like Tuesday, Wednesday, later in the week or something like this, get out of here. Like that's almost amount to nothing. And even if it does come down just enough to wet the ground, then it's dry in no time. There's like nothing. The waterway is really low, super low, all throughout the region. Telling you, it's part of an attack. Look at this. The cost of grain that feeds half of the world just posted its biggest monthly surge since 2008, since the Great Recession. So grain that feeds half of the world surging when it's not there to be found or to be bought. That's the big problem. Then when the word rationing comes into play, it's never good. Okay, so I got a funny feeling under this Trump administration, by design, at some point, there's going to be rationing of whatever. Take your pick. We cover enough madness. I'm going to run a clip here that's it's kind of comedy. It's a God trying to part the sea like Moses did, but he fails and he almost drowns. And it's pretty crazy. People out here do all the wild things. And run this clip here. Yeah, it didn't last long. One little wave took him down. I don't know what they were thinking, but didn't work. How contagious is Ebola? Well, they say that more than 200 people are suspected to have died so far with this most recent Ebola outbreak, and this came from Congo and Uganda. Now, although they try to say that this thing is spread through direct contact with blood, secretions, or other bodily fluid, I've already shown how they said they believe that this spread through air droplets and airborne. That was within a week or so ago. So this Bundy Bugyo strain of the Ebola virus is spreading. And they say that, and I've been tracking the numbers here and like running them. It's been holding steady at a 22% kill rate, which is we're just gonna have to wait and see. But they say that overall, that this does not have a high spread rate, spread factor, which is good. They say measles is more contagious. They say by contrast, the Omicron of COVID-19 was more contagious. It held an R value, spread value of 8 to 10, measles 12 to 18. Ebola is only 1.5 to 2.5. But don't let that fool you. When something's deadly and bodies are dropping, it don't matter. Here's some horrific details over a horrific murder that took place broad daylight in Atlanta on a train. We have the individual that you see right here, John Elijah Matthews, arrested. He was on the MARTA train near Oakland City Station in Atlanta on Saturday, just after 12 p.m., and he was promptly arrested following the murder of an innocent woman. The people around it said that they witnessed it and it was sickening in nature, and that he just went up and just started to just stab her, just slashed her throat, and just started. I'm not even gonna go into the rest of the details. This dude needs to fry. But you know what? When you've got politicians out there, city mayors, and people running police stations, they have guys like this arrested, letting them go. That's treason. Treason. I don't care what you say. And you should be arrested, governor, mayor, sheriff, I don't care who you are. If you're going to let a known rapist and murderer walk right on out to go ahead and do it again, you're guilty for letting it happen. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. So, crazy situation with the next one. A man holding hostages at a California Chase bank gets shot dead by the FBI after a 15-hour standoff. The suspect still unidentified, they're saying here. I don't understand that. He's dead. Like, what are you hiding? Well, they evacuated nearby buildings. This man showed up, barricaded himself inside of the bank with hostages and said he had a bomb. Apparently, all the hostages were rescued. No one was injured. But the man is deceased. So, well, we don't have a name. I can't even. Now, the mystery deepens in terms of the remains of this missing Los Alamos nuclear lab employee that was discovered in a forest. Now, if you've been following, you recall that there's a bunch of scientists that have gone missing over the past couple of years. And a lot of them are tied into the high level security clearance type stuff, UFOs, UAPs, and at bases connected a lot to Los Alamos. Now, Los Alamos is super like top. If I'm ever out in this area in Mexico in the future, myself, I'm stopping by here. It's like if anywhere near it, I'm trying to do something, some kind of report, something. I'm scouting the area. There's so much going on here with the underground bases that it's just on a whole nother level. You can consider yourself standing on top of, walking above, for sure, other life that is working with our government at this base underground. If you could just get anywhere near it, I'm going to tell you that the underground base is sprawling. It goes on who even knows how far and how ancient. Some of these places above ground were built in specific spots where these underground ancient places and bases come up closest to the subsurface, to the surface, to where they can puncture down into it, so to speak. It's exactly what they did in Los Alamos. And you know what's crazy about Los Alamos is I can only tell you of one person in this life that I can legitimately say had a battle with aliens and is documented, talking about it, was fried by them, hit by them, missing fingers. That's Phil Snyder. His guts got hit, fried. His whole body hit. He showed all the scars. Left foot crispy. My man shot and killed 2 tall grays. And then got licked by a ball of energy by a third. And he wouldn't be here today if a soldier didn't throw him in a basket and send him back up. So that is his story. And it took place at Los freaking Alamos. Ah, yeah. The whole Phil Snyder thing and all the craziness and madness that went down at this base where all these cats are going missing that are connected here. I immediately start to think of not just, I don't know, like these entities are, they strike deals with our government, and we already know this, and they they're told that they can snatch up X amount of people, so many people to experiment on. It's like part of the contract, you know. The Greys or whoever reptilians, they give our government, anti-gravitic technology. Then the other side of the contract is like, all right, you let us, you know, snatch up a person here and there. And I'm sure there's some numbers they agreed on. Same with heads of cattle, all the stuff that they mutilate, all the stuff. Then there is people that just know too much and talk too much. There's people that work in these facilities that see and hear things that they probably should have never ever seen heard. And when their phones are tapped, because that's how it works when you work in a high tech, highly guarded facility. Whether you know it or not, you're an employee working in there, and even though you're compartmentalized, like they know you. Obviously, they got all your records where you live. You're their employee. They know all this. They get your phone number. Okay, so your phone is tapped and instantly. And like if they suspect that you know something, first off, this day and age, all you got to do is have the phone sitting out on a table and be carrying on a conversation, and it's listening to you. In this day and age with AI, it is trained to listen to your conversation and for keywords, and it will send flags when it hears you talking about key stuff. You can be like, my phone's not even on. Well, it doesn't matter. This is also how it picks up when you go you be talking to somebody about something, and the next thing you know, you'll see an ad for it. It's all along the same things. The technology's out there now in the cell phones that they're putting out, the new iPhones and everything else, with the 6G and everything else, where it interfaces with your mind and you don't even know it. Like people can't even understand what's going on. It's actually like reading your brain waves. It's nuts. So imagine that just you see something like, dude, I swore. You go home and you're sitting there and you're talking to your loved one. And you're like, dude, you're not gonna believe this. I swear I saw two aliens walking down the hallway today. And you're like, what? You're like, yeah, I swear. I know it wasn't dudes in costumes. They ain't playing like dude. It was like, yeah. Imagine this conversation's going on, and like the government's listening. And then, like your loved one, supposed to keep their mouth shut. Like he goes into work and like he can't help but like start to tell his buddy this crazy stuff, and like they're listening, and like all this information's spreading, and they know it, and it's spreading from a source, and they know the source. Do you understand? This really happens, and too many of these people that just talk when they shouldn't, especially around technology. This is what gets them in this mess, especially when they work at a place with this oath's taken and they're sworn to secrecy. They're watched like a hawk. They're not watched like a normal employee. Okay, so with all that said, this woman went missing and then was found 6 miles away from where she should have been. Which, how? 11 months after she goes missing. Just like William McCaslin, she just walked out of her home and vanished. Why is like there's like a repetitive thing. Like these people are all told the same thing. There's like a MO I've noticed, like leave your keys and your cell phone behind and no electronics. What you should have always done to begin with. See, they make sure they're telling them to do that. Their murderer, the killer, which I highly suspect is connected to the black sites or this government, is telling them to leave all electronics behind home for a meeting or, we have something very whatever it is, whatever they use to lure them, to convince them it was safe enough to go. And they go and they get killed. I mean, anybody ever tells you, leave your keys or leave your phone behind, you might want to think about what you're walking into. Seriously, especially if it's something like this. Because those are the first things we're always jumping at. Like, all right, pull up cell phone records, this and that. Well, you can't here in these because they were specifically told to leave it at home. Now, that's crazy. Like, they're being told the same types of things, which is nuts. You can see it from a distance. McCaslin was, she was. Well, the one guy was shot dead on his freaking porch. And somebody's silencing people, man. And that was New Mexico, I believe. Or California, New Mexico, somewhere out there in the West, that guy was shot. All right. Gonna jump into political stuff here. If you ever wonder what's going down, on the Congress, sometimes it gets kind of wild. I'm going to play this clip here real quick so you guys can see. This is one example of what goes down daily.
A racist,
turn this up,
Mr. Secretary, would do what happened to Ruby.
Are you calling me a racist?
A racist.
I'm asking a question.
Reclaiming my time, asking him to shut up.
That's a pretty...
Shut up.
Shut up.
It's my time.
I'm not going to let anybody call me a racist, Chairman.
I never called him a racist. It's my time.
It is, gentlemen, will suspend.
You will not.
Tell him to shut up.
Gentlemen, suspend. No, the gentleman will suspend.
No one will call me a racist. I'm Cherokee, too. My family has been pretty tolerant.
I ask that my time be restored. I ask that my time be restored.
The clock has been stopped since I suspended the clock.
I will continue to interrupt as long as someone's sitting there assuming
I agree.
me a racist.
And as I said before, there will be no addressing anyone's character in a negative way.
So that's it. Kind of crazy. Lone Warrior, much love. This next one, this has to do with a guy on a flight that flips out. We've been seeing a lot of this lately. That people flipping out on flights, and this guy tried to open the exit door again. It keeps happening. I don't know what's going on. But this guy that knows jiu-jitsu thankfully jumped up and intervened and helped subdue this guy and then tie him up with belts or seat belts.
Yes! It's right there. Chill out, bro.
I need this hands behind his back.
Yes!
Behind his back? So he doesn't untie his
Okay, you gotta turn around like this.
He's strapped too tight.
He's strapped too tight? Okay, we'll just do it in the front again. Okay, we'll just do it in the front again. Let's just see the front.
We're good.
No, you fucking pinching my skin, you dumb fucking bitch.
Hey!
Look, she's fucking pinching her skin.
You broke out once.
No, see what she's fucking doing.
You're not gonna die.
Look what she's fucking doing.
Strap to the...
Look what the fuck she's doing. Look what the fuck she's doing.
Another strap.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
No, he's not tied.
Look at that. I'm not doing shit. Look.
I don't even want to fly. You know, after seeing this, I don't want to fly after seeing a bunch of stuff. But,
Manny, look, I have fucking straight. I'll get out.
I'll go there.
I'll get out. It's fine. Nothing, look. I'll just put it down. She has me.
yeah, I'll pass, man. It's several different flights now that this has happened on, and you know, I'm doing what this guy is doing right here. You have no choice. I'm not gonna be. I'm not the person that just is sitting there on the flight. If a nutcase is trying to open the door, I'm the dude taking him down. Like, even if I get sucked out the door with him, like somebody's got to be, you know, like somebody's got to do something. I don't know. The quicker you subdue them and take them out, or take them down, the better. And I don't know. Dude's really lucky that these people are handling it like this, because someone could have got him in a chokehold, put him down the ground, and just laid on him and laid on him, and like, yeah, he could have died easy, and they would have got away with it easy because he put everybody at risk. Pretty nuts, but it pays to know defensive moves, some jujitsu and things like that, just to be able in a situation like that. If you've got to run up behind someone and throw them in a lock, and you've got to put them out without any blood spill. So we have in this next one a crazy story of the FBI raiding a mansion, a $35 million California mansion, a tech CEO arrested for allegedly supplying U.S. equipment to Iran's nuclear and military programs, while reporting just a $20K income in a $35 million mansion. Like, that's a wild story. I'm not gonna play the video, but on to this next one of what is dubbed the evil seed, and this has to do with Epstein. If you don't know, I mean, New Mexico is wild. Now that I think about it, New Mexico is where he has his ranch, where we know bodies are buried out of the emails. Like, what's going on with all that? New Mexico, same place as Los Alamos. Yeah, I was just telling you about. Alien base underground, without a doubt, for sure, here in America. One of the known ones. And this guy's just, I don't know, a guy that likes tunnels and all this other crazy stuff, just is in the vicinity. And raping and murdering and doing all this other stuff. And I don't know, maybe just connected to these lesser people the same. We know that for a fact, Jeffrey Epstein was involved in running a baby kind of making operation where they were like making designer babies. It was talked about. It's in the emails. They're set to be the whole lab and everything. Like, what is in New Mexico at that ranch and underground there is a whole nother animal, because it's way more extensive underground there. And the island really caught all the big attention, you know, at first. But his ranch, which we know there's at least 2 dead children buried on the property. Like, what's going on, feds? Been taking you good time here. What's going on with the investigation down there? They say that Epstein kept his sperm in a cryobank, and that it may still be preserved. Well, of course it is, because the whole operation is not even talked about. They haven't even spoke anything on that, on all the files, all the scientific stuff. This guy had like a full-blown lab. And there's like no talk of that. They'll end at the dentist chair with all the sexual stuff. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a hint here and there of the adrenochrome stuff. But like they're not talking like they showed us a tunnel on the island. It went underground. And all that stuff. But like, dude, this ranch, I'm telling you, it's got all the goods because they were talking about it. They were pulling off all kinds of different tests and things like that. So this guy, there's no telling. So yeah, could they've got his DNA along with anyone and everyone else, but a clone, cloning's been around for such a long time that, you figure they could have started cloning easy in the 80s. Who knows? There's so many cats out there that could have been cloned since then. Trying to clone someone like later in life, that's like in the 60s and 70s, you try to replace them with a clone that's like 20 years old. It just doesn't work, right? That right there is gonna make people think that someone's like going back in time or something. But these cats, imagine Epstein. Epstein had it all. This dude had it all. He just anything and everything he wanted, he had. And I don't know, when you become that much of a threat, blackmailing so many people, like somebody's going to try to take you out at some point, right? Someone's going to get pissed off, jealous, even if they're part of the club, even if they're part of the establishment and all that. People are going to be like, screw that. Someone's going to be pissed and not be able to hold their anger. And they're going to think they're powerful and slick enough to do something about it. And some of them just might be, but maybe not. Some of them may think they are, but still can't even get away with it. Because obviously they're trying to say Epstein offed himself. And we obviously know he did not. That there's way more to it. By the way, where's Ghislaine Maxwell? Everything's gone crickets on that. I would not doubt it before Trump gets out of there. She catches a pardon or something crazy. And P. Diddy's are going to probably be running the streets free before Trump's term's over as well. It's crazy, man. It's insane. Can you believe that? I mean, he's all butt pirate anyway. Like, he's P. Diddy up in there, like, he said to be liking it, loving it. His fruity ass. I don't know, man. Half these devils get off easy. It's I don't know. It's one big mafia, is what it is. All I see. I do like to see the people coming together though, to protest. In this next one right here, this is key. Thousands of people protesting against Jared Kushner and his whole idea here of putting a luxury resort on a private island up in Albania or on Albania's coastline. So it's the same guy that supports going in, wiping out Gaza, Lebanon, any other place, and putting, hotels and luxury high rises and all this stuff. This is Mr. 666 Fifth Avenue, Jared Kushner. We're talking about. He's pissed these people off, and they've come out and they're like, no, we don't want you here. You need to see more of this. If Jared Kushner's coming to your city and town and people are like not doing anything, that's not good. But the people here are getting pissed. pretty nice crowds there, man. For pretty nice crowds coming out, man, just to say "F you, Kushner." All there are enough signs. That's yeah, that's a lot. That's you get rallies going like that thick. That's successful. Um, it shows people don't like them. You know, here in America, the belly of the beast, we're housing all these demons. And you wonder why these other cats are over here saying that if America gets hit and gets taken down, half the world is going to cheer. Well, let me remind you, they already did. And I don't forget. I don't forget 9/11. When them towers got hit, man, even though it didn't happen as what it seemed or what they tried to say and who was behind it, when it happened in real time, Muslims and others across the world, they cheered in real time. Others did in real time. Enemies that people that hate America, that see it for me as being the great Satan, you know. And when Trump's caught up in protecting pedos and all this other stuff in places like Iran are calling them, you know, the pedo regime and all this, I mean, you can't deny it. Like, we're on the wrong end of the stick, and in this situation, it's bad. It's not good because what they're saying is the truth. And here we live in the belly of that beast. You see, it's messed up. So, like, and of course, when they attacked 9/11, who died? It wasn't anyone like high-ranking government. I mean, Lutnick and all them guys, all the guys that believe in their religion, they all missed that day. Imagine that. It was all everyday Americans. They got blown away and they had to jump. Had to jump. I'll never forget the jumpers. I ride for the jumpers. They're what sparked me. Having to watch that and relive that every day, watch them smack the ground and jump that high screaming, up there waving, like, dude, I don't forget. Pisses me off, but see, I know who really did it. And I don't forget. And they're going to do it again. They're the ones that do everything. So you already know. Okay? So it's become clear at this point. The next one is coming. That's my fear. Anytime. And it takes me back to the Lego video. Iran put it out. And what did it say in that video? Before that whole thing got taken down, shut down, it said that Israel, it straight up said it, Israel is going to hit you, America. And with one shot, they hit the button and it was an EMP over America. They had DC targeted on the map as well, but they detonated over America an EMP, if you missed that. And they telegraphed it clearly. On to the next one. Far left extremist Scott Wiener, who decriminalized spreading AIDS and passed the pedophile protection bill, advances in the California primary to replace Nancy Pelosi. Careful what you wish for. Are you kidding me? You people could not line up something better than this. The guy that pushed this bill, like, is this even better than Pelosi? I could never thought I'd even say that. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, man. The man's name, decriminalize the spreading of AIDS. Like, what? Like all of it. I don't know, man. This is what's replacing Pelosi. Like, I got like an instant headache from that. that was I just can't understand it. How people even let someone like this get on the ballot and even gets this far. The things I just said. Like, does anybody care? Is anybody even voting? Like, I don't know. All this talk about this guy here, Spencer Pratt. See, I don't trust none of it. I don't trust none of it because if it was me or you, my experience has shown if it's an everyday person out there, you wouldn't even be getting this airtime at all unless you bow down to the establishment and you're controlled by them, period. You get none of this. You're shoved to the side, you're shelved, back burner, dungeon. But their little playboys get all the airtime. That's how it is. It's how it is. You could be out here swinging for the fences, fighting the fight every single day. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Unless you join the dark side. You like that? You gonna join the dark side now? No, you don't. You fight against the dark side. It's what this is all about. It sucks because you'll always be censored when you speak the truth, when you rep the truth. It's just how it is. And some people bitch out and like, well, I don't want to be censored. I want all the fame and I want all this and that. And they succumb to the beast or whatever. They sell out. And they'll get their face plastered all over the place and they'll become whoever because they sold out. That's selling out. It's what, again, when you fight the real fight and you don't sell out, you're never going to get any of this. The people got to realize that. Like, get behind someone, support someone, grassroots. I'm not even going to play a video on this, dude, but I will play this. I want you to make note. The first ballot dump is what they're saying. It comes in like late at night. This is a mayor race between Spencer Pratt and Karen Bass. And of course, Karen Bass sucks. She's no good. We've called her out a million times. Of course, Pratt's the fresh face. He's thrown diamond up in all of his pictures. Like, get out of here, man. But he's fresh. He has no dirt on him, all this other stuff. And they're like, all right, you're going to take this guy or you're going to take the same old. And I'm just wondering, he's controlled. Regardless, he's done shown all the signs, throwing the hand signs. But these late night dumps of votes, I'm so sick of them. And we'll play this clip for a second. This guy talks about this, like right out the gate, he says it. Here we go.
LA Mayor, I am told we got out. Oh my gosh. Remember I said we would get a gigantic batch all at once, and we just did. So, take you through this. About 40% of the vote, of all the votes that are going to be cast, just got released here. We are talking about vote by mail, again, that arrived by Election Day. Some of this might have arrived a while ago. That's the type of vote you're talking about. There's Karen Bass, the incumbent, running at 38%, and there is Spencer Pratt, running at 28% right now. That is an 8-point advantage or a 25,000 vote advantage over Nithya Raman, the third place candidate right now, Councilor Nithya Raman, the third place candidate in this race. That's with 40% of the vote. Now, remember how we said we expect things to go the rest of the way.
Remind people
in Los Angeles, yes. Right? The next thing we think, and what they've communicated, the next thing that would be released here, maybe in one big batch, would be the vote that was cast in person at polling places. And we know from past elections in Los Angeles, like that 2022 mayor's race, that was the most anti-Bass vote that there was. The vote that was cast in person on Election Day. So you would suspect that Pratt might benefit from when the Election Day vote is added in here, that Pratt might benefit, that he might be able to narrow this gap with Bass. Now, there's not a ton of people in the grand scheme of things who vote on Election Day. It's probably like 15% of all the vote, 15% of all the vote in LA. But if Pratt does do well there, as we've seen with independent and non-democratic candidates in the past in LA, he could narrow that margin with Bass. And I think more critically for him, he could add to that pad between himself and ramen. Because remember, the final piece of the puzzle that we won't know tonight, right, is the late arriving vote by mail. And we're talking about probably like a third of the vote in Los Angeles. We're probably not going to be getting until tomorrow and maybe days to come after tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm just letting you see these are the characters that you can expect to start hearing in terms of California. Newsom is definitely the man running for president off that side. I seen Owen Schroyer earlier do a post on X, and he was like serious. He was like, "It looks like 2028 is Newsom's to either win or lose." Meaning that he can screw it up and lose it, or it like they're giving it to him. And he's seeing what I've already told you. We can see it from a mile out. Clearly, we see the same thing. That Newsom's their pick. They're elite establishment man, and it's his. That Trump's wrecking this place so bad right now that it's doing nothing but favors for them, for the other side when it comes. And look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We already know this. The voting's rigged anyway. Like, we learned this with the whole Biden thing. They can just give you late night batch comes in just like the dude just said. I mean, it's still happening. Same old song and dance. What is anybody gonna do? Nobody's gonna do nothing. Nothing. No one's ever done anything up to this point. Everyone goes out and votes for JD Vance and they give you Newsom. What's everyone gonna do? What's anyone gonna do? Nobody's gonna do nothing. Because it's so docile. They could begin to protest, grassroots protest. But I got a funny feeling like they're gonna shut the lights out on this place, and it's gonna change the whole dynamic of everything. I hear a chopper coming off in the distance. Right. So if it goes right over top of me, it's just now about dark. It'd be one thing, but let's just hope that we don't get rudely interrupted like we have before. On the stream, I could just hear him getting closer and closer. So if you hear it, something in the background, I mean, when you can feel everything shaking, they're pretty close. Here they come. All right, well, let's see if they went off to the side. I've noticed it looks like they've been taking this path. It doesn't go right over the house, but off to the side repeatedly, and that's what they just took. I'll be watching these freaking choppers, man. At night, these drones too, man, out here in the skies, you can see them up here, and the drones are wicked because they don't flash like planes, they don't move like planes, and like they're borderline like UFOs, like UAPs. The way they move, the way they zip. I watched one night on a dime, turn around and shot back the other way. It not like a meteor across the sky, but like moving where I could just clearly see it. It never disappeared. I could see it the whole time. But like covering a lot of ground quickly, going the other way. It's an obvious drone. And way out here in the middle of nowhere, way up in the sky. It's like, dude, who's flying that thing? And like, why are you way out of here in the middle of nowhere? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm telling you, like, there's craziness going on. I'm seeing more and more and more of it. I need to get a really good night camera, or a camera that like films the night. Like, I go outside with my phone, and, like, try to film something at night, like stars, that can't even see none. I'm like, what? It sucks. Like, I mean, I thought it was a decent phone, but I need a good camera, like nighttime camera. Just wait till I get this telescope. It's over anyway. I get the telescope, it's on. We're locking on to some things in the sky. Not gonna play that one. Where we at? What time? Okay, 9:22. I would play this one. This guy goes insane screaming at Marco Rubio on the House floor. I guess these guys trying to earn their paycheck. It's
Representative Keating is recognized.
Chairman, for the record, I ask unanimous consent to submit the President's financial disclosure form, which will detail those dealings that were referred to by the ranking member.
Without objection.
Secretary, thank you for being here. In conjunction with your job, you're also the National Security Advisor with access to the most sensitive intelligence secrets our countries and other countries have in the world. But before this, you had these two positions. You had a distinguished career as a member and a chair for 5 years of the Senate Intelligence Committee up to last year. And you and Senator Warner are some of the most respected and knowledgeable people at that time and voices in the entire intelligence community, earning the trust of Democrats and Republicans alike, Senator and House members, and other countries. So with all your Intelligence Committee experience, and now as Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, and all those years of experience, have you ever, specifically in the context of the intelligence community, heard the name Bill Pulte?
In the context of intelligence?
That's what I said.
No. No, I have
Never heard his name. Okay, thank you for answering that.
Well,
Never even heard his name. Given all your years of experience and your position now, never heard the name. For the record, Bill Pulte is a person Donald Trump has chosen for the acting director of national intelligence with no experience in the intelligence field, whose misuse, widely reported, of confidential information led to the prosecution of the president's political enemies, is now the person in charge of the nation's most closely guarded intelligence when he couldn't even conduct himself appropriately as the federal housing finance director. Now, Secretary, have you ever heard of the name Ira Zahari?
Who's that?
You've never heard the name Ira Zahari?
I mean, it doesn't ring a bell off the top.
In the context of security? Well, let me tell you. Mr. Zahari pleaded guilty for breaking into the...
Well, I don't buy either one of them because I've heard of both of them names just by reading up on these stories, especially the Bill Pulte, the first one he said. I know Rubio's heard of it. And what's crazy is like he's sitting there lying. Like, I don't know. I guess you got to prove it, but I know if I know he's heard of his name. They get into this big shouting match. I'm not gonna. It goes on for like 8 minutes, but Rubio gets into it with like all these people. This woman in another clip here. So I don't know. The House did pass a resolution, though, to end the war with Iran. So this is, when it comes to Iran war, this would seem to be good news, but they say that it will. They say if it passes the Senate, which is likely not, it's likely to be dead on arrival. They said if it did pass, though, Trump will veto the resolution. So it's like this guy is on a power trip. And because of the whole Republicans and the chambers and the control and everything this time around, he's got like a super majority power. Like he can make all these moves like a boss and like, I don't know, sign the executive order, override everything. He does it just like he did earlier today or this week. All right, so let's go to the UK. My brothers and sisters in the UK, they got their hands full with a situation here where a massive rally has kicked off because a young man named Henry Nowak was murdered. What I don't like about this immediately, like always, is Tommy freaking Robinson. Like, let's keep Steve. That's just really keep him out of it. Keep him out of it. Like, he's a shill for them anyway. Like, I hate it. It's co-opted. furious Brits clashing with the cops, and hey, people got a right to be pissed. But like, watch the shells. I know a lot of people over there know this, but see, the guy that killed him just got sentenced, and I guess the sentence was well, he didn't get a death sentence, so to speak. And people are pissed. See, hold on a second here. Nowak, 18. This is what it says here. Nowak, an 18-year-old British teenager killed last December by Vikram Dikwa. He is a Sikh man who falsely claimed he had been racially abused before the attack. So he lied. They proved it. They say that Nowak may have survived had officers not handcuffed him while he lay bleeding from stab wounds inflicted by the Sikh. They were ceremonial. He did it with a sword, a ceremonial sword. Police body cam showed that when Nowak told officers that he had been stabbed, the officers replied, "Don't think you have, mate." Ah ha ha. What, dude? I want that cop's name right there. Whoever said "Don't think you have, mate," I want that. I want him. I want that officer. Like, he smoked. Like, this whole thing, the investigation. You wonder why people are pissed. They have every right to be pissed here. Like, just y'all need a new leader. Somebody needs to step up. Screw Tommy Robinson's fake ass name. In fake ass everything. I know somebody I'd support over there. He brings that fire. And people got a right to be pissed. I'm not going to play all the clashing back and forth on this. I will say, though, here in America, we're seeing an uprising and some protest as well. New Jersey is getting a bunch of it. I've been kind of watching it. Some are saying it got, insane, crazy. I watched all kinds of clips, and I didn't see much insane, crazy. I seen some police on horseback kind of trotting around, like running around, and some guys throwing some cones and yelling and screaming. I seen way crazier. But it shows you the actions getting stirred up. And that Roy Singham, George Soros, they're still backing this stuff. It's what I don't understand. George Soros is doing this. He has been. And Trump's even said it out of his own mouth. It's like, yo, he lives in New York. Go arrest him. Go arrest George Soros, for crying out loud. But they won't. It's a game. They like the chaos because they can call for order and make laws and all this stuff out of the chaos. So let's jump into Iran here full scale and get an update on what's really going on here on the world stage. Iran, overnight, sends missiles, drones, targeting air bases across the Gulf there. They hit several different places. They target 2 bases in Kuwait. And it's back and forth. I mean, this is hardly a ceasefire on any front. Israel bombing in Lebanon, this ongoing back and forth, there's no ceasefire. So they're still going at it every single day. It's switched just a little bit, so it's not cookie cutter. from the days before. But they switch it up, but it's the same thing. It's we're about to have a deal. Different wording, different promises, different hope. It's been the same thing for freaking weeks now. And we're in bad shape. People just don't understand how many things have been stopped. They think, oh, only 5% oil. Certain little things like hit their brain and stuck, and like they refuse to see the rest. Like no fertilizer came through. All these other goods have not come through. The fertilizer is key. We're screwed. Remember what I said earlier about the perma drought? I didn't even mention at the time El Nino. Like, dude, this is not good. So if you missed it, I put out a video I was talking about the other waterway that comes out of the Red Sea, not the Persian Gulf. On the other side of Saudi Arabia, Yemen and Oman, down on the bottom, there is the Red Sea that goes up toward Egypt. And it's critical. And it's got a bottleneck just like the Strait of Hormuz. And it's called the Strait of Tears. That's a nickname that they give it because it's kind of messed up name. So the Strait of Tears is what they're threatening now to shut down. That sees like 10% of global oil flow and then like a ton of other commerce. It's the main route for a bunch of countries for a lot of their goods. There's no other way around it. It's when you control those two passages right there, those two bottlenecks, you bring everything to a standstill. And it looks like Iran is activating the Houthis. You know, Hezbollah's everyone's getting involved in this. Is actually kind of every day when they say, oh, we're about to have a deal, it's actually escalating out more and more because more people are getting involved that were not before. So let's just look at some of the details here. Trump says it's fake news that Iran and the U.S. stopped speaking days ago. Of course, you can't believe anything that he says at this point. We've been caught him back and forth with lying all the time. I take it back 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we're going to have a deal within the next 48 hours. Yeah, and what's he saying now? What's he regurgitating right now? Trump has even said he expects an agreement for this an extended ceasefire to take place over the next week. Iran issues in the meantime a 4-stage proposal to deal with the U.S. And this is after the most intense overnight clashes since April. So, you know, they have sticking points that they say they're not backing down from at all. And, you know, this whole thing with the nuclear stuff, uranium, Trump's trying to say that U.S. troops are going to go in and we're taking it out of there. And they're like, like they're laughing at this. Like, it's messed up. So there's politics on Telegram issued the following outline Wednesday. And I've been through this before, so it's almost a waste of time, but this is where it's at. They say this somewhat contradicts reports from other state media outlets, but Farr states that indirect talks with Washington are still ongoing, but that no final decision has been made. Phase 1, ending the war and halting military actions. They're supposed to be in a ceasefire, for crying out loud. Phase 2, tangible measures, including the issue of the strait and a mechanism related to it, like lift the blockade, remove restrictions, and all that. All that has to be worked out. Well, of course, duh. Number 3, dedicated to discussions on sanctions and the nuclear file. So they're dedicated to discussions and like talking on it, but like they're not giving it up. They're not giving anything up. They've yet to say anything like that. Again, Trump's lying. Phase 4 involves establishing a supervisor committee to oversee implementations of the understanding and monitor the commitments of all parties. So they're saying there has to be some kind of body to oversee anything that they're going to agree on here. And they can't agree on nothing. So, dude, I'm telling you, like, none of this, even if they eventually do this, here's the huge problem. There are weeks, if not months, ahead of getting all the mines clear. It's littered with mines, all of Hormuz is. And the U.S. military has basically charged Iran, like, yo, you put them there. Part of the deal now is going to be, you know where they're at, you go destroy them. You clear the mines since you know where they're all at. You make the passageway safe, which is reasonable. You know, it's a good call. It keeps you out of harm's way, and they should know where they're all at anyway, and be able to do that if that's part of the agreement. But they have to agree to that and then do it. If they can't agree on nothing, and there's a threat on the back end of shutting down the Strait of Tears. So, here's Trump.
But in the end, we got that. Now, we got it if they sign the paper. In theory, they're pretty close to signing a paper. We've actually gotten along with them very well. And you know what you saw for the last few nights?
Oh, yeah, we've actually gotten along with them very well. Look, I don't believe nothing out of this con artist. It's, at this point, the destruction of everything we know. I mean, for someone just waking up to all this, you gotta catch up quick. This looks to get drug out. Now look here, Iran has dug out more missile tunnels than anyone previously thought. That's what they're saying. They believe that they've got like 70% of all their missiles still in the ground. And if you don't know, these places and spots, a lot of them, they've been hidden in the desert in like random locations, and they've been put there for years and years, to where when triggered, they're going to pop up and launch. That's the advantage that they have there. So any fresh satellite imagery or anything like that's not going to pick up on anything. It's just going to look like land. So yeah, it says right here, Iran still has over 75% of its missile launchers fully available. They never even got to cracking into the big ones. They've been sending low-grade drones the whole time, and yeah, they did launch some hypersonics, which is a badass weapon, but it was the low-level hypersonic, was never even the high-tier one. Just wait. Israel couldn't handle it. Iron Dome couldn't stop them. Iron Dome could not even stop low-level hypersonics. No one can. No one has done it. When Russia's used them, anyone. The Patriot system just gets demolished. Anything. No one can stop a hypersonic at this point. And the US's answer, they're rolling out their hypersonic now. Untested to the battlefield is what they're saying. It's like, hold up. You can roll out a hypersonic, but you still haven't shown, no one's shown that you're blowing hypersonics out of the sky. When we see that, it's a different story. Maybe a laser. That is the weapon that Israel turned to. Some kind of like railgun type of slash laser weapon. Didn't look full laser. If so, it was shooting lasers like bullets, because it wasn't one beam. It was different, but they showed it on display. And they got all kinds of weapons out here, but as I said, the ceasefire is broken. Iran launches drones on the airport inside of Kuwait, hits the airport, destroys the passenger terminal, kills a person, injures 63 other people. Again, these are low-level drones they're sending through from a distance. They're only going across the water, to hit Kuwait there. They don't have to go far. So Kuwait's going to continue to get nailed in all this. So Trump here apparently confirming that he went off on Netanyahu. I'm going to play this clip here in this interview. And I think I'm only playing because I think this is designed to try to make it look like he's independent, like Bibi doesn't control him or something. Yeah, right.
Now, Axios reported that you had a phone call with Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, in which you were angry with him. You said, "Are you effing crazy? What are you effing doing? I helped you stay out of jail." Is that true? Did you speak to him in those terms?
I did. I wouldn't say angry. I was a little bit perturbed at his constantly fighting with Lebanon. At some point I said, "Bibi, we got to stop this. We got to stop it." But I have a very good relationship. We've done well together. He always says, we could never have done it, but everybody knows that we could have never done it without the United States. But I've worked very well together. I like Bibi a lot, and I've worked very well with him. We had I'm a wartime president. He's a wartime prime minister. Very important part of the world. And I think we've done, very well. We've gotten along very well together.
What do you say to people who claim that Bibi Netanyahu tricked you into going into Iran?
Well, they're just, the enemy. They're just, the Democrats, DUM. These are Democrats. These are people that don't know what they're doing. They want men playing in women's sports, and they want open borders so the world can pour into our country, and they want transgender for everybody, surgery, and they want transgender utilization of our children.
Yeah, he's loaded with a pocket full of deflections to blame the left all the time. It's true. You can't argue with him on some of the main key points, but that's the game. He's so he admitted he went off on Netanyahu, and he's trying to make it seem like he's his own man. Is what this whole thing, it seems like to me. Like, get out of here, dude. You'll still be tucking his chair and tucking something else for him. I'm sure. Next time he comes to DC. So Trump says he wants to meet Iran's new supreme leader. He says, we probably will. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? You were not even willing to meet the last supreme leader. You just bombed him and killed him. This sounds like a ploy to me. Like, if they told me, like, if I was the supreme leader and they told me, Trump wants to meet you, come out. Yeah, right. That's the moment they're going to strike and kill. Trust these kids. You think they care? Trump would be like, oh, well, we had to get him, whatever. Like, come on. I don't trust it at all. Like, what business or what good would this want with meeting with Trump at this point? He killed most of the people you know. Trump killed your dad. Again, all friends, high-ranking generals, all this stuff. He wiped out everyone that you know. I don't know. I feel like we're going to get hit bad because of all this. Let's go to Ukraine real quick. Kiev pounded nonstop by Russian drones and missiles. Again, that seems to be the weapon of choice. A combination of drones and missiles on the war front. It doesn't matter which war front. You can see here a Ukrainian drone smashes into a Russian passenger bus, killing 8 civilians. That's not good. So, just imagine taking the bus, going through town, and it gets smacked by a drone. That's, Moscow, Kiev are open targets at this point. It never used to be like that. So, like, this is the end. Like, they're pounding Kiev. We always said when they finally get to Kiev, it's like whack-a-mole at this point. They're trying to find Zelensky. Notice he's gone silent and all this stuff. It's because they pick up on where he's at and they can track him at all. Now that they're in the area, they will strike for sure any spot they think Zelensky's at. So, and they'd pull out a hypersonic. They'd probably, use a specialized weapon, maybe even something space-based, anything, if they knew exactly where he was at. Just kind of like what the U.S. did on Iran here. And they'll try a bunker buster on something, but the drone thing's getting out of hand. As you can see, passenger buses just getting hit, civilians getting blown away. Most people don't care, but like, this is pretty crazy stuff. The world is a war zone. The State Department issues a travel advisory for Mexico. So, day one of Trump's administration, he did one thing. He declared a national emergency. Why? Because of the cartels, is what he said. There's been some action, but to this day, no major moves have been made on the cartel yet. It's like we're still waiting. Like, there's been little things here and there, but nothing like what you saw going down around Venezuela and strikes and, all over the news. And I think it's going to come at some point here. When they wrap up, for sure, just imagine whenever Iran is done and it wraps up, for sure, and they start to bring all these warships home for the Middle East that are sitting there, all finally home. You're going to have all of these warships in the vicinity of the Caribbean, in Mexico, and all this. We'll see. Travel advisory now for Mexico. If you're going to go to Cancun, people are getting kidnapped, heads cut off, murder, left and right. It sucks. Can't even go to Cancun. Can't even go to the temples. Can't even go to nothing. You risk getting killed. Homeland Security finds a massive, sophisticated cartel tunnel. They seize 1 ton of cocaine worth $45 million. This is near the southern border. 4 people charged in trafficking. But this is massive. Look at the steps cut there. Huge, long tunnel here. You can only imagine how much has been rentals. So they find 1 shipment worth $45 million. Again, I can only imagine how much was flowing through them. Not only drugs, but humans too. There's no way tunnels like this are not being utilized for stuff like this, if you ask me. But, just like with the Epstein stuff, they keep some things on the back burner or low key. And they won't mention things like that sometimes. So we got a bill that is going to prevent Chinese cars from coming in here. And like anything, like they already warned about this. Like the Chinese are embedded in everything. And like they warned about DJI drones, the chips, all that stuff. Our ports, like in this image, you see in this image, see all these cranes right here, all the cranes at like the port that unload everything. Well, all of our ports, all of them in America, have these big cranes, both coasts, and they're all made in like China. It's like the setup of setups, if you ask me. because they've discovered that there are remote control like devices on them, that the Chinese can actually control them remotely. And when called out on this, they were like, no, that's just like an emergency safety feature in case we need to help with. And they lied through their teeth trying to say, in case they were busted. Here's the problem. This is known. It's critical. They can cripple us at any moment. They've got us like a gun to our head right here because no one else in the world makes these cranes. You would have thought after you figured out you're screwed, you're in this situation, that you would have ordered by emergency an American company by emergency decree to start making these cranes, period. Even if it's a slow process, one at a time, and just one at a time, start replacing all these Chinese cranes. Turn around, sell them to some other country. Why are they not doing it? It's a setup. Every show I end up having to say the same thing. It's a setup, because it is. Anything that happens here is a setup. They know this. When they say, oh, the cranes one day at the ports don't work, and watch, they will. It's going to be chaos. It's all set up. And the U.S. and Chinese militaries are supposed to be holding a deconfliction talk in Hawaii, but Trump goes quiet on Taiwan. Some are saying that it seems like Trump is letting Taiwan down in a sense here, and like going with Xi Jinping, like whatever they talked about when Trump was there, he seemed to agree on like backing down on Taiwan. And like, I don't know, China's supposed to be our big enemy out here, the dragon, knocking us off our perch. The enemy on the world stage, sending all the fentanyl into this country, all this stuff, like, all those things. But like, Trump acts like Xi Jinping is his good friend. He says it all the time. He's a really good man, really good person. Doesn't say nothing bad about him ever. But in another random interview, he'll be like, he'll treat China like it's separate from him. Like, yeah, we're this with China and this and that with China and this and that with China. But when Xi is brought up directly, he switches his tune. Kind of same thing when it comes to Vladimir Putin. The world's a stage, man. I don't know what's going to happen. My best guess is that we're going to get hit here very soon, and it will be in response to what we're doing over there in Iran and everywhere else. People don't take it lightly that Ayatollah Khomeini was killed. He was a spiritual leader. And dudes are like strapping up kamikaze. I'm going to tell you, my soul knows this. Like, you should know this. Dudes that believe fully in someone like that, and like you go and you kill them, like murder them, they're going to ride for justice. What they truly believe in their heart is justice. That's what you sparked. So you've got to worry about a staged event on one hand, but then you've got just what they always call the lone wolf, the real deal dude that's pissed that you did it and gonna make you pay. Right? Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat is the way it is. Hey, something's gonna happen. I don't know what. I don't have a crystal ball, but as I've said for a decade, hope you have a plan. I covered here recently also on when the lights go out, an update on that. what some of the newest simulations have said and shown, that people aren't going to last long. It used to be, it seemed like the simulations would show when the lights go out and all that, it just made it seem like they made it seem like people lasted a little longer before all hell broke loose. Like 5-6 years ago, I remember because it would say, day 3, day 4, day 5 is when the panic is really setting in, and this and that. And it's like, hold on. You look at the new simulations, and it's showing that if the lights go out or society breaks down, that people start losing it on day 2. This is with AI now tied in and all kinds of other data. So, first night goes by with lights out. Everyone's like, okay, lights be on tomorrow. Everyone just takes it for granted, right? It's the way it always is. Get through a night, just nothing new. Storms knock the lights out. Some people have been in the dark for days. So even if it goes to day 2, some people are like, oh, we've been here before. But when it's not a storm and there's no explanation or anything like that, and like, I don't know. I think within this is the difference between in the first 48 hours, people are going to be wondering, why are we in the dark? First off, if it's an EMP, it's going to be obvious. But if it's a cyber attack and things are just down and going out and all this, or the lights just go out, there's no communications. I can see how people start panicking almost instantly. This is what you should be prepared for, almost instantly, because the phones aren't going to work. They're not going to be able to get a hold of people. They're going to be sitting at the gas pump trying to get gas because they're out of gas, trying to get to their destination, get home, and it's not working because the internet's down. Nothing works. Panic sets in everywhere. People are virtually stuck in some situations where they're at. Like if you're in that position, you run out of gas, and at the gas station when this happens, like you're not getting any gas. It's over. It's done. You'll be walking, and bikes have become pretty popular again real quick. People are going to freak out within 2 days, 3 days. Here's the thing. Think about this for a second, though, man. For real. What happens if, like, you're at home, lights go out, everything's fine, sun shining, birds chirping, just power's out. You stop mowing the yard, everything come in, power's out. Everyone's freaking out. Gotta do something, man. Food's gonna go bad. Gotta figure out something. Why is it that? I don't know. Hours start to tick by, and I'm telling you, there's gonna be a panic because, it's just not. It's not a storm. I get to see it now. I get to see it. There's gonna be such a quick panic that people are going to say, hey, the store's 15 minutes from here. And someone's going to be like, well, yeah, let's drive in. We don't have any gas. Hour walk. People are going to go. What do? You walk all the way to the store. You get there. And you should have already known this. Like, if the gas pumps weren't working and everything else, like, how are you going to pay for anything? Some people are going to say, hey, I've got money, I've got cash, and I think this will work at first. This will work at first, but this is a small window, okay? Before all hell starts to break loose. where if you get to a store like within the first 24 hours and everything's breaking down, and they're telling everybody, well, we can't do this, we can't do that. Well, if an item on the shelf shows that it is, X amount, and you round it up, to the next dollar, and you just gather all the items and you go up and you're like, look, you tally it all up right there in front of them and you give them more than what it's worth, and you walk out the door with it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that it's legit. I think that's legal. I think it's the company's getting their money. You're getting the product. It's continuing the whole process. Only problem is here is like nothing's going to be coming to replenish shelves after this. So whoever gets in there gets away with pulling off, whether they're looting the shelves or you're actually buying the goods. Nothing's going to be replenishing it because nothing's flowing at that point. That's the big thing. If they put us in the dark, what do you think they'll do? Honestly, if you take the time to do it, and it's one big event to schedule and to pull off and to do all this, like, why would you do it? For how long and all that? You got to think about that. Like, to me, if you want to crush this country and end it forever, you EMP it. If you want to notch down from that and you want to implement something massive to change everything on the social scale, you would freeze the banks and money and all that. You could be random cyber attacks, multiple. Again, Christopher Wray said the Chinese are embedded in all the sectors of our infrastructure: electric, internet, water. Now imagine all that goes haywire because they did it. That's enough. It's enough to get them bombed. You ask me. I mean, because you're talking about making moves that's going to kill millions of people. You shut the water off, the lights out, all that for weeks, all planned, all staged. What does that do, though? I just look. Maybe it's because I don't want to see it. I don't want to live through it. But if I'm them, an EMP is a pretty hard. It's a hard thing to overcome on all aspects. Everything's fried. Absolutely everything. Even if I put myself in the shoes of the bad guy, the way I see it is, it's better to do it in a bunch of cyber attacks. We keep all of our power up for the bad guys. You know what I'm saying? We in all of our spots, all the vehicles stay running. For them, if you have it planned out, every day people will run out of gas, and again, won't be able to pay for it at the pump. But the government can still be getting by easily, planning for this ahead of time. Easy. So I see a cyber attack, a series of cyber attacks being the biggest threat, the best for the bad guy, and the biggest thing, the kicker, is on the back end of it. As soon as everything comes back up online, if they do it the right way. If they do it the right way here, as I said before, they hold your money hostage at the bank. Right there, they can install digital currency because you'll have to download an app. And the app will be nothing more than a wallet that has USDT on it. It's just that simple. And he'll just stroke of a pen, everybody, every store, everyone out there accepts this. It's done. And anything that you had, every dollar that you had in your account will be converted to USDT and you'll be able to spend it. Just that simple. All the banks are already set up to do this. That's how you know it's going to happen. You see, Warsh is in there now. And a thing called the Mar-a-Lago Accord that I've told you about forever is yet to happen, and it's going to. It's going to. And it deals with the restructuring of the financial framework of this country. So what do you think that means? So, yeah. Crazy times, though. All right, I'm going to check the chat before I take us out of here tonight. Counting the day again. Much love. Low Rodder, Steely, Skeeby. Mr. A. Bro, you gotta holler at me, man. You left me on a cliffhanger, man. I'm over here like, I ain't saying nothing, but you don't know, bro. Like, much love, everybody, all the mods. Just much love, yeah. God bless. Steve, Cooler, Sailor, John Boy. Everybody, man. Much love. God bless. We'll take us out of here. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Eon, the legendary, thank you so much. 7 coffees, appreciate it, man. Much love, God bless. Much love, everyone.